Obitur Solutions, a leader in secure document printing and a privileged partner in digital transformation, is proud to bring its official support to the group of SIDS Leaders Conference.
Excellencies, ministers, honoured officials from the international agencies, ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to this second meeting of the Group of Small Island Developing States Leaders, otherwise known as SIDS. My name is Juliet Foster, and I'll be guiding you through 90 minutes of lively and what I'm sure will be thought-provoking debate on the theme of pandemics, prevention and preparedness. Now, this event builds on the success of the first SIDS leaders meeting, which took place in early May. And at that time, we explored the impact of the Cotonou Trade Agreement on small islands. Now, as the international community begins to build a future beyond COVID-19, small island developing states are demanding a voice in contributing to and indeed benefiting from the process. But it has to start with addressing the distribution of vaccines to the largely vulnerable community of some 38 sovereign small islands across the globe. Now, to put this in perspective, a recent policy brief by the United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs reported that the number of COVID-19 related deaths per 100,000 people was actually higher in SIDS compared to other developing country groups and regions, and I'm including within that LDCs and LLDCs. So from the UN to the World Bank, from the EU to the various NGOs, the pandemic is seen as having not only magnified the vulnerabilities of SIDS, but has also faced them with stark choices that have the potential to cause long-term economic and social damage. A 2020 UNCTAD report found that SIDS experienced a GDP fall of 9% compared to a 3.3% decline in other developing countries. At the same time, only 6% of COVID-19 related spending for developing countries was spent on small island developing states. That's an increase of 2% from August 2020. Well, the result of this is that COVID-19 is stretching national budgets to breaking point, with SIDS having to choose between paying off external debts or preparing for another pandemic or even the next tropical storm. Well, as SIDS struggle to repair their public balance sheet, extra funds will be required to finance the immediate health response to lead the way to economic recovery once the pandemic itself is brought under control. It's fair to say that this is a truly massive task for small island developing states who rely on commodity exports, tourism, and indeed other services. So today we're going to explore whether the international community and transnational organisations recognise the enormity of the challenge and whether we're doing enough to help. And what about the vaccine programme? COVAX, the body responsible for making vaccines globally available, has approved another $775 million to fund the delivery of the COVID-19 jab to lower income countries over the next 2 years. Does it go far enough? And how much of a difference will it make realistically? Well, to debate these issues, I'm delighted to say that we have a distinguished panel of experts. They each have an allocated amount of time to give a speech outlining their position, after which they will be asked further questions. And I'd like to stress at that time that it is important for all of you to stick to the amount of time that you have been given, as there is quite a lot of ground that we have to cover in the time available. Also as well, if you could mute your microphones when you're not using them, that would also be very helpful. Now, before we hear those speeches, I would like to call to the floor the co-founder of this SIDS group, His Excellency David Doyle. He is the ambassador of St. Kitts and Nevis, and he's going to share his opening thoughts and indeed some warm words of welcome. So, Excellency, the floor is now yours.
Thank you, Juliet. Excellencies, distinguished guests, welcome to this Global SIDS Leaders event devoted to pandemics and its implications for small island developing states. Now, this is the second such event which brings together leading experts from the European Commission, the UN family of organizations, multilateral and bilateral organizations, along with senior ministers from the small islands to debate critical strategic issues about the future stability of this particular community. SIDS makes up something like 38 sovereign states scattered across the globe, from the Caribbean to the Pacific, from the Atlantic Ocean to the Indian Ocean, representing some 20% of the UN membership. It was with a view to giving these particular small islands a more assertive voice at transnational level that the GSL was initiated by the governments of St. Kitts and Nevis, the Solomon Islands, Dominican Republic, and the Seychelles earlier this year to fulfill this ambition. The GSL platform enables these small islands to articulate their strategic vision at transnational level on strategic issues such as the one we're going to discuss today, a damaging pandemic inflicting huge economic hardship on islands with limited institutional capacity to respond. In collaboration with my co-founding partner, Ambassador Jean-Paul Catteron from the Solomon Islands, we will be rolling out future GSL thematic debates in the next couple of months on social, economic, and financial policy areas affecting SIDS. But let me leave you with one simple thought. Despite representing 20% of the UN membership, the remoteness of these small island developing states, their size, their limited institutional capacity, means that sometimes they struggle to get their voice heard at bilateral and multilateral fora. So ultimately, the GSL initiative seeks to inscribe SIDS' strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats at the heart of the global development agenda, and allows SIDS to become an integral part of the solutions to the big issues that we are trying to tackle globally at the moment, whether it be climate change or combating this pandemic. Allow me in conclusion to thank the sponsors of today's event, Obertoire Fiduciaire, and its president, Nicholas Koudros. Enjoy the event. Thank you.
Ambassador Dolma, thank you so much for that. Let me now introduce Mr. Eladio Perez. Now, he is the Vice Minister of Health for the Dominican Republic, and he is standing in for his colleague, the new Minister of Public Health from that country, Daniel Rivera. So unfortunately, Mr. Perez can't be with us in person, but he very kindly recorded this message for this special meeting.
Les extiendo un cordial saludo a todos los presentes en esta importante plataforma donde compartiremos la manera en que República Dominicana combate la enfermedad COVID-19. Igualmente, algunas informaciones generales de interés de esta pandemia que atravesamos. La enfermedad COVID-19 es una infección causada por un virus SARS-CoV-2 que sin duda alguna marcó un antes y un después en la historia de la humanidad. Las repercusiones de esta crisis sanitaria afectaron todas las áreas de la sociedad. Afortunadamente, el gobierno dominicano, a través de este Ministerio de Salud Pública y diferentes actores de la sociedad, sobre todo con la colaboración científica y médica del país, asumimos el reto de garantizar la salud de todos los dominicanos. Para estos fines, fortalecimos los protocolos de manejo clínico con el objetivo de mejorar el diagnóstico y tratamiento oportuno de esta enfermedad, para así responder de forma adecuada a las necesidades de la población dominicana. Además, se implementó a través del Gabinete de Salud que preside nuestra vicepresidenta Raquel Peña, el Plan Nacional de Vacunación con el compromiso de vacunar a más de 7 millones de personas mayores de 18 años durante el 2021. Recientemente se destaca la inclusión de la población de 12 a 18 años, así como también la aplicación de la vacuna a mujeres embarazadas a partir del segundo trimestre. Gracias a la conjunción de esfuerzos, hoy la República Dominicana es uno de los países con mejor cobertura vacunal para la enfermedad COVID-19 en Latinoamérica y el Caribe. Nos sentimos honrados en decir que a la fecha contamos con más de 3 millones de vacunados con segunda dosis y más de 5 millones con primera dosis. Es decir, tenemos más de 8 millones de dosis aplicadas, demostrando la respuesta ejemplar de la sociedad dominicana con la aceptación de la vacunación. A pesar de esto, no podemos disminuir los esfuerzos. La pandemia nos sirve de enseñanza para que todos los países posean un plan estratégico de preparación y respuesta para las enfermedades emergentes, que representen una amenaza para la salud de cualquier población. La salud es uno de los bienes más importantes de todos los seres humanos. Este momento nos invita a tomar conciencia sobre la importancia de tener un sistema de salud fortalecido, con las competencias necesarias para poder cumplir con nuestro compromiso público de calidad, promoción de la salud, así como también brindar un mejor futuro a los dominicanos.
A special thank you there to Eladio Perez, who's the Vice Minister of Health for the Dominican Republic. All I can say now is have a wonderful afternoon, what remains of it, and I hope to see you again very, very soon. And to all of you, please stay safe.
Overture Solutions, leader in secure document printing and a privileged partner in digital transformation, was proud to bring its official support to the group of SIDS Leaders Conference.